Click on the right thing here. Hello! Welcome! Welcome in, welcome one, welcome all. Glad to have you here. Yeah, so, welcome to Trashy Cooking, where, yeah, I'm gonna just cook dinner for, that's pretty much it. Is anybody even quite here yet? I doubt it. I somehow doubt it. No, of course not. Well, in any case, I guess we can get started on the first thing, which is going to be browning our meat. What's it going to be today? Hello! Today it is going to be a beef curry. I have here, already prepared beforehand, the meat, which is marinated, and spices, yogurt, chilies, the works. The thing is, there's way too much yogurt here. I can't fry off the yogurt as it currently is, so we're going to get a second bowl. Bonk. And we're going to start off by pulling meat out of here. What theoretically, yeah, it's fine. So, like I said, the marinade for this is a yogurt base. The reason we do yogurt is because yogurt is acidic, which means that it actually, and I mean, you can't really see it on this meat, but it sort of cooks the outside of the meat while also allowing flavors to penetrate into the surface. Do they go all that deep? No. Could you get away with just using a flavorful sauce? Yes. Are we doing that? No. Why? Because we're not. Although, we are going to add flavorful sauce to this eventually, but you marinate meat because meat needs to be marinated. You know how it is. Also, if you would like to, you can use !Discord, and that will give you a link into my Discord server. I'm currently sitting in the voice section of that. If you want to chill out and ask questions or whatever. There's another person already in there, but he is, or at least I think he is. But currently he is, he's making his own dinner. Which quite frankly sounds like breakfast, but, it's fine. So again, we're just pulling the meat out of the marinade because frankly, there's just too much marinade here, you'll see. Again, I actually haven't said this before already, but do not be afraid to touch your meat. Never be afraid to touch your meat, no matter what anybody tells you. Should maybe have some music going in the background, but that'll get a little bit more difficult once we actually have, frying sounds happening. Threw a little bit there. Bit of yogurt went where it wasn't supposed to. That's fine. By the way, thank you so much for the light. I really appreciate it. It's easily the brightest light in this room right now. So. All right. Now, normally I would turn, glad to see it got some good use. Thank you. Normally, I would turn on my burner right now to start heating up this pan because it's cast iron and it takes forever to heat up. The thing is, this induction stove is a fucking monster. It is an absolute monster. It will literally turn this thing up to like 500 instantly. So I'm going to go wash my hands, open my door for the sake of smoke, and be right back in just a second. Hands washed, dried. All right, and we're of course going to need some oil. Start with 140, I have no idea. As this pan gets good and hot, we're going to put in the oil first, and then we're going to put in the meat. My hand isn't actually on, and it looks like my hand is on the void, but it is above the void. It's not actually on the void. What do you recommend? This is Celsius. I have no fucking idea. I'm putting it on something that's above boiling because the thing is, I need this oil. Yeah, and see, this pan's a little cold still, but not too bad. I need the oil to immediately start shimmering, which this sort of did, but more importantly, not hit my mic, and yeah. I don't know how well you can hear that, but you want to immediately hear frying. Now, I've already made a mistake here. That being, way too much meat for not enough pan. This is going to be very difficult for it to brown. But you want to immediately hear that frying noise, that sizzling noise. Follow that, and it will lead you towards flavor. Because things that are brown are things that taste good. Unless they get too brown and then they start tasting bad. But we won't talk about that. And we won't see that today, wink. So, while that fries off, and I don't really know where to set my tongs, so we're going to put them there. We're going to cut up an onion because we need to do that later, and that's a great time to talk about basic knife shit. People will always tell you that you need to hold your knife a certain way, that you need to hold your food a certain way, so that you don't cut yourself or whatever. That's just not true. All right? They tell you that because that's what chefs do, and what chefs do can't be wrong. But the thing is, you are not a chef. I am not a chef either. If I had hundreds of onions to go through in a night, or, you know, really wanted to get this done as fast as possible to save as much time as possible in the safest way possible, I would do it like the chefs do it, right? Where you hold your and I'll demonstrate it a little bit, where you hold your hand sort of like so, in a sort of claw grip on what you're doing, and you put your knife right up against your knuckle. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can give it a better example. The Ragusa is strong in you. Indeed. Yeah, you put it right up against your knuckle. you know what it is already, and you cut, right? Like that. Nobody in the real world gives a shit. Is it safer? Yes. Am I going to do it this whole stream? Yes. Do I care whether you hold your knife a certain way? No, not really. But I will say the most comfortable way I have found is to pinch the blade up here. This, I don't have a lot of control. This feels dangerous to me. If this doesn't feel dangerous to you, then go for it. I don't care. I hold my knife like this. I'm also going to do the quote-unquote right way to cut things because I am distracted and talking and doing other things, right? If you take your time, it literally doesn't matter. It 100% does not matter how you hold your knife, how you cut your food. As long as big thing becomes small thing, it's fine. Now I will say tips. Keep the root on the onion. The root end holds it all together. We're cutting this into small cubes, and that helps it actually stick together. I will also say, no matter what, you need to make sure that your knife is sharp. Very sharp. A sharp knife, contrary to popular, well, not popular belief. Again, this is all basic stuff that you probably already know very well, but a sharp knife is a safe knife, right? It doesn't make necessarily sense that a sharp knife is a safe knife, but the thing is, a dull knife, to cut through this, is going to take a lot of force. Whereas this, I'm hardly applying any pressure. Now, let me show you first of all. How sharpen a knife? If you want, I'll go over that a little bit later. But, right, knife sharp. Knife very sharp. Knife cut through paper very easily. It'll also cut through your hand if you're not careful. So, now we have big thing, we have made it small thing. However you do that is absolutely fine as long as you don't cut yourself and as long as you keep your knife sharp. I guess I have a little bit of time to show you sort of how I sharpen my knife. I won't actually do it because it takes time and I might actually fuck up my knife more than I help it. Yeah, we're starting to pick up a little bit of color on this stuff. Just a little bit. It's more boiling than anything, which I don't like. I tried to solve this by pulling it mostly out of the marinade, but it didn't fucking work. So, I personally drain it? No. Because I like the flavor of the marinade, so we're going to keep it in. Less fluid in the pan. Yes, but meh. We make mistakes here to show you what not to do. I use this. This is just a standard, I think it's a diamond stone. It's a rock. One side is 1200 grit, the other side is 800 grit. Could also be 12 and 16. I'm not entirely sure. But basically, it's just a stone. I'll show you how it works later. There are plenty of ASMR videos that do a much better job at explaining how to sharpen a knife. So, earlier I cut up the first half of the onion. Now I'm going to go through and explain to you, I mean, again, basic shit, but the way you want to cut up an onion, again, leaving the root end on, you want to go almost all the way to the root, almost all the way to it, and straight down. Almost all the way over. Again, however you hold the food, as long as you go slowly, have a sharp knife, and are aware of what you're doing, is fine. You will be fine. So, and then I did a couple of cross cuts. How can I hold this? A couple of cross cuts this way, back towards it. That makes the pieces easily smaller. And then we cut down and across. And then that root end, which would not be very good to eat, we toss. And there you have a chopped onion. Boy. You know what? I am going to do the thing. This is too much sauce. I'm too lost in the sauce. Hold on a sec. Can you use the end in a broth, though? Yes, theoretically, but we're also making a sauce with this as well. So let me be right back. I actually need the evil device. Evil device. Pour sauce in a bowl, just cook the meat, then pour it back in once it's cooked. Meh. Here's the thing. The same spices are going to go into the actual sauce that we're making. So I'm not too really worked up about it. So, since we have a moment, remember the onion? Garlic is exactly the same. It is literally exactly the same. It is also built in layers. I'm fairly certain you know how to pop open a clove of garlic. Well, not a clove, but a head. Just kind of crush it, and it all falls out. Now, peeling garlic can be a pain in the ass. They make little tools for it. You don't need it. You don't need the tools. Take your knife, put the side of it down on the garlic, and press until you hear a little crack. That's the skin separating. Then the skin peels right off. Easy as that. All right? There's a whole clove of garlic. You can also just twist them from the top, sort of like a banana. And there's the garlic. Now this piece has a bunch of blemishes on it and looks nasty. We'll cut those off. Mildly blemished food still tastes good. Just gotta cut the little rotten bits off sometimes. Such is life. Could also simply be that this just isn't hot enough at 140. We'll turn the heat up a little bit. Life sucks now that the garlic has blemishes. True. True that. Wow, this garlic really does have a lot of blemishes on it. Jesus Christ, man. I bought this 2 days ago. 2 fucking days ago I bought this garlic. Need more? No, I have another 3 heads. It's not a problem. Demand a refund? Yeah, dude, let me go to the grocery store, demand a refund. This we're just gonna simply chop. You can mince garlic exactly the same way. As you would chop an onion. It's just a little bit harder. But I believe in you. You can do it. Me, I'm just going to chop this into little bits because at the end of the day, this is going to be just put into all of these onions and cooked with them. Where they will degrade and fall apart as they develop roasty toasty flavors and generally become better. So, again, we cut off the blemish. You see I'm throwing away the very end of the garlic. As I explained yesterday in the super secret stream, that definitely didn't happen. The end of garlic sucks. It is woody. It is bad. You don't want that. Ooh, now we're starting to pick up a little bit of brown color. Nice. Very good. Browns. Okay. Oh, you know what? I should turn this on, too. I have a little air purifier under there. I'm actually going to focus on this for a moment, over here. If you'll join me, microphone. Spend a little bit of time taking care of this, because it was sort of sticking to the bottom. Sticking is what leads to bad flavors at the end of the day. Well, goodbye, friend. Gone to the ether. Alas, no dog to pick it up, but goodbye, friend, as well. But you can come back. Goodbye, friend. Indeed. Hi, Moose. Welcome. Welcome in. I'm using a piece of meat to attempt to scrub some of this. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't see it. They are trying to escape and also cooking stream. Yes. All of the above. My pan is not as well seasoned as it frankly should be. But, yeah. So it's sticking a little bit. Some of the yogurt's kind of sticking to the bottom and kind of starting to burn a little bit. So we're going to call that done. I'm going to take this over to my other stovetop to chill out. Yeah, I figured a cooking stream would be a fun idea to try something new, something different, and yeah, do a little bit of education, have a little bit of fun, talk with you all. You know the vibe. Again, we're super rough chopping this garlic because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Chop it fine.
Mind trick, god damn it.
I'm back from making dinner to tell you that you need to mince your garlic.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm going to be boiling it in a fucking sauce, so, you know, it doesn't really matter. Wondering why my phone kept buffering. I was on the wrong port. Oops. So, caramelizing onions. We're going to start that process now. I still am not totally sure how my my thing works, so it's fine. You know what? I've only used this cooker twice, so.
I love your apron, by the way. Where'd you get it?
Thank you. You can purchase it at IKEA.
Good to know. Maybe I'll check it out when I go to Sweden.
Yes. All right. As that gets plenty hot, put in the oil. Nice. And begin the process. Induction stovetops are so pog. We have one for when we go camping. Y'all got enough power for an induction stovetop for when you're camping? Jeez, man.
You're making me want to go cook a second dinner with caramelized onions.
Okay. Imagine not using gas. Well, you know, I can't exactly just put a gas burner on my thing over here, so...
You could, actually.
I could, but man, what a fire danger.
Okay, coward. Listen, have you ever burnt to death?
Have I ever?
Yeah, Beefy knows what's up. Just believe harder.
Goddamn. Alright, this whole Discord thing isn't actually working out. It simply isn't. I'm gonna not do that because it's hard to hear. So, these are cooking a little. We have a toy hauler, which is living quarters in the front, storage for ATVs in the back. Ah, one of those. Society, if Jay had Bluetooth headphones. I do have Bluetooth headphones, but here's the thing. My computer doesn't have a Bluetooth thing in it because I was saved money on it. So I can't actually use Bluetooth headphones with my computer. Otherwise, I absolutely would. They cost like $8? Yeah, no, but here's the thing. The headphones themselves, yeah, but my computer doesn't have a Bluetooth. Oh, for a Bluetooth adapter, you mean? Meh. It might be worth if I do more of these. Click the donate button down below. Just a little USB guy. Plug him right in. I'll consider it. I'll consider it. So, while that is doing, and this is over here, I'm going to cut up. Viewers yesterday saw this as well. These are the hottest fucking peppers I've ever seen. They come apparently from Uganda. I don't know what kind they are. I have no idea. Literally no idea. No idea what kind of peppers these are, but look at these things. Can I eat one? Yeah, show up, pull up. You know where I live. At least vaguely. I mean, they just look spicy. So, Normally, I do pepper seeds and all. Can I eat one? Bet. Okay. Yeah, pull up. You have an entire city to search through, but it shouldn't be too hard. There's not too many Americans here. Normally, I put peppers in seeds and all. These things, I'm not going to. I'm simply not going to. I will put 2 in, but the seeds and veins are coming out. So what I'm doing here is I'm filleting the sides off of it, just gently. And there you go. There you have the seed core. Seeds and veins are where the heat is on a pepper that I don't necessarily want. These are starting to pick up a little bit of color. That's good. Google Maps says I'll be around there at around 2:16 a.m. You got to use the Deutsche Bahn Navigator. Just search up DB Navigator in the App Store, and that'll tell you exactly when the trains move, because Google Maps doesn't actually do a very good job of it. And more importantly, where do you get your spicy peppers in Germany? I have my sources. You in Berlin should have absolutely no trouble getting them. I don't know why you're asking me. I personally go find the Afghans. There's an Afghani guy who runs a market here, specializing in international stuff. So he services the African community, a lot of the Arab community, and then also the like Japanese, Chinese community. Korean food. I think he's got some Korean food as well. Sort of a mixed bag. So, but literally just stay away from where the white people are, and you will find spicy things. Okay, so some stuff sticking to the bottom of the pan. I don't want that. I'm going to go deglaze this. There we go. I say coming from the second whitest state in the nation. Fair. So, but yeah, seek out your local Afghani guy, or frankly any quote unquote Oriental market. Oriental doesn't mean you're on the PC now. Let's go. Oriental in Germany doesn't actually mean what you and I think of when we hear that word. It means Mid-East. What we would consider the Middle East is considered the Orient here. Don't ask me why. I understand that that word is not used by most English speakers. I understand that it is not a word that carries no baggage with it. However, that is the word which is used here by the people who run the stores. So I will use their term that they used for themselves. Let's see if we can't get that lamp a little bit more over here. hard to see into the pan itself, so. Let there be light. There we go. These are starting to pick up some nice color now. All right. We're going to add the garlic and chilies now. Let those get going a little bit. Be careful when you pick stuff up like that with a knife, okay? There's no problem with it, but you are running a blade towards your hand. Which, if your parental figure ever taught you how to whittle, always cut away from yourself. And in cooking, that is true as well. However, sometimes rules are made to be broken. So, give those just a little bit of a head start. I better see you folding your fingers. No. Knuckles on the blade and all that. So, as I was explaining earlier, we're going to take this off the heat. Hold on. Do I have anything to set this on? I do. As I was explaining earlier, how you hold your knife doesn't matter. How you hold your food doesn't matter. As long as you go slowly, are careful. Sorry, I'm inhaling capsaicin. Go slowly, are careful, and make sure that your knife is very sharp. That's it. Right? As long as you Jesus Christ. As long as you follow those tenets, you're fine. So, now we're going to add something I did earlier off camera. I know. If you're going slowly, it takes forever to cook things. Right, yeah, sure. And that's true. If you are going fast, then do what the chefs do. But if you are not going fast, don't. If time is not really an object, it shouldn't matter how fast you're going, right? So, now we're adding pre-cooked lentils. I know, I did some cooking off camera. You don't want to sit and stare at lentils for 40 minutes. I don't want to sit and stare at lentils for 40 minutes. All of the people who taught me to cook were restaurant workers. That's why you think the way you do. Unforgivable, actually. Yeah, I know. But none of us want to stare at lentils cooking for like 40 minutes, so. Stir that in nicely. Excellent. Actually, just a terrible stream. Horrible. Frankly, unwatchable. That's actually what I do in my free time. What? Cooking? Or what did I say, even? Oh, stare at lentils? You just pull up lentil videos? Okay, well, you know, that's on you, frankly. You do you, honestly. So, we're going to set that there. Next thing we're going to add. Canned tomatoes. These are San Marzanos. Quote unquote, the best tomatoes in the world, quote unquote. Doesn't really matter. Maters. You know what I forgot, actually? Holy shit, I'm stupid. I have forgotten. Set that to warm. I have completely forgotten to spice this. Beefy's gonna fucking kill me. So, a heap of salt, because there's nothing else salty that's going to be added to this at all. Pepper. Goodly amount of the stuff. And then the spice blend itself. Here we have garam masala. I don't know exactly what's in this, but this shit's magical. I know it's got cumin in it. I know it's got a little bit of cinnamon in it. Nutmeg. What else have we got? Coriander, pepper, cardamom, curcuma. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Could you have deglazed the onions with wine? Of course. Of course. There is nothing wrong with using wine. I'm not necessarily sure how it would taste. Usually when I cook with wine, not all that much of it ends up actually in what I'm cooking. Cinnamon, mace, peppercorns, coriander seeds, cumin seeds, and cardamom pops. Exactly. And then, of course, there's salt and pepper in that as well. Probably a little bit of sugar, too, honestly. And then this one is something I picked up from... I think I picked this up from some Iranian... Yeah, this Persian house. Yeah, I picked this up from some... Wine is good on lentils, but doesn't go with the spices you're using. Exactly. And also, because a lot of the flavors here come from the Muslim world, we're not going to use wine. This is a habanero curry that I picked up from some Persian folks in Frankfurt. This bag cost me €4.50. So, now that we have all the spices in, we're going to try it. Because this is effectively our curry paste, so to speak, right? Banging. Banging. But wow, that is spicy. It's not actually that bad. Why not? We'll throw some Worcestershire. The hard to pronounce sauce. We're going to put a little bit of that in there. My Nana usually has some wine just for cooking and just marinates very nice steaks from like noon to dinner time. Yes. Never cook with wine that you would not drink. Add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Bump up the umami flavors, so to speak. You know the vibes. Excellent. Now, tomatoes in. What I theoretically should have done a little while ago, but didn't. We're going to put a little bit of water in that as well. Water naturally swirled around in the can. There's that. Now these tomatoes are whole for, whatever reason, so we're going to crush them. They're canned, so they crush easily. You see, we get this beautiful orange color. Let's see. I first of all want to loosen this up. A little bit more water because I want it to cook down and boil a little bit. So I'm going to grab that can again. Get some more water in there. Just so that as it's boiling, it doesn't actually, splatter all over the place. Might have been a little bit much water. We won't worry about it, all right? We won't worry about it. And the meat. Back into the soup, as it were. Oh, way too bright on that reflective surface. That's a little better. Unless I can even send a little further away. Yeah. I need to do this earlier in the day, honestly. So, there we go. It's a learning process. We're learning. We're making things better. We're going to put a lid on this. And now we reduce. Let that reduce on down. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and clean up just a touch here. And if you have any questions, let me know. We're just about finished here. All that needs to be added at this point is heavy cream. I said I was making something good, not something healthy. I have too many frickin' utensils around here. Pull that off. Excellent. And now we have an open cutting board. What are we going to do with it? Well, honestly, I may as well show knife sharpening a little bit, but I don't have good camera angles for that at all. Ah. I forgot the chickpeas. Well, that's all right. We'll add them in now. And let's go ahead and actually taste for seasoning again. Boy, those peppers add a funk that I'm not necessarily sure I like. It's nice and spicy, sure. But these peppers just add something that I'm... Ow. Fuck. Just got splashed on. I'm not a huge fan of that. Other than the pepper taste, it's great. But... like I said, those peppers just have a funk to them. For reference again, we have a couple of these peppers in them. I don't know what they are. They're not habaneros. I don't know what they are at all. Bonk. So, yeah, would love to learn. If anybody knows, any pepper knowers in the chat, they're not habaneros. They're way too red for that. It's kind of hard to see in this light. But they are far too red to be habaneros. Not entirely sure. If anybody knows, let me know. Why it looked like a brain? It beats me, honestly. Completely beats me, baffles me even. I know that certain, like, you know, the dangerous peppers start looking like that. I'm stirring this just to get this stuff off the bottom. I can already feel that it's kind of sticking down there, and I don't like that. So we're pulling the lentils off the bottom so that they don't, you know, burn. So we're starting to get thick again here, which is good. We want it to be thick. We want it to be very thick. I'm going to start actually using the big spoon for this. Chefs hold theirs like this for whatever reason. I'm not sure. Hold it however you want. The chefs are not necessarily right for how you're cooking. That's the main thing I want to impress on people with this, is that how chefs cook is not necessarily how you should cook. Right? Nothing measured. Nothing, you know, you don't have to chop like this. You don't. If you chop like this, you're fine. There's no danger of me cutting my hand doing this right now. There's just not. But, you know, it's fine. That's my personal tirade. So, I reckon we can get some stuff off of the table over here as well. Fun fact about this stream, I completely rearranged my apartment to do it. My desk is not in the right spot. This thing usually belongs in my actual kitchen, which is behind me. It does not belong here. I'll tell you that much. There we go. Nice and thick now. Ow. To the point where it's starting to splash a little bit. All right. Before this gets out of hand, we're going to add the most I do is quarter tiny potatoes, and now I have a pattern that I do never once hurt myself. See? Perfect. As long as you don't hurt yourself, whatever you're doing is fine and works. As long as you don't hurt yourself. We're going to put some heavy cream in here. Yeah. That's what gives it, rather than being, I know it's hard to see because of camera quality, light quality, etc. But these things always have heavy cream in them. And that's what gives it that orange look as opposed to, well, right now it looks like green, which isn't great. It gives it that orange look as opposed to being, tomato red. So, and there we have it. I'm going to call that done. So, just like I cooked lentils beforehand, I also went ahead and cooked rice beforehand. I'm sorry, I know. But I trust you to be able to cook rice, all right? If you can't cook rice, let me know and I can talk about it. There is no shame in not knowing how to cook rice. But if you don't know, then let me know about it and I can run through it super quick. So, in order to plate this, I'm going to grab the third spoon of the night. We're going to do half and half. All right. You can see I didn't wash my rice perfectly well enough. I don't cook rice, texture icky. What about the texture is icky to you? Because that could be a multitude of things. Quite the cleanup you'll have there? Yeah. Well, I need to put my whole apartment back together anyway, so be all right. So, half rice, half thing. Now, I should also mention, I don't always do this with beef. I actually normally don't. Ew, bad texture on tongue. Okay, well then that's not the kind of rice or anything like that. That is actually just rice. Yeah. God, I wish the color on this camera was better. I really do. It looks... Follow me on Twitter and you'll see an actual picture of this. It is orange. Trust me, it is orange. It looks so brown in this. That's a shame. Truly a shame. This stuff is orange. And tastes great. Other than, like I said, up the saturation on the can, maybe? We can try. Let's see here. The white balance, contrast, hue, saturation. Wow. Maybe white balance as well. Yeah, I have it set to auto because if I don't, it literally can only see green. That's a little better. That's a little better. A little bit more orangey. Yeah, so, but half and half. There we are. Yeah, it's a little bit better. I just don't like how blue my steel looks here, but that's fine, honestly. And there we have it. That is a completed dinner in 1 hour while I was, talking. You can make this faster. You certainly can. I should also mention that I think in total, this whole thing, which will feed a normal person for like a week, all right? This is so much food. This is a normal meal for me. I eat a lot. This whole thing cost me like maybe $40 bucks with meat. Without the meat, it's easily 30, 25, $30. Uh, Truly, it is cheap stuff that is good and lasts a goodly long time in the fridge. And to be honest, it actually gets better in the fridge because the flavors that are in here haven't had a whole hell of a lot of time to get to know each other. Right? They're still kind of separate notes. Just now realized how big that pot is. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You can see how big my hand is over it. Yeah. Um yeah, and you've seen these. Yeah, I mean this plate is the size of both of my hands. Yeah, I eat a lot of food. Um but yeah. So, I guess as a last thing, are there any questions about what I did here today? Any questions about general cooking whatsoever? Well, guten Appetit. Danke dir vielmals. Yeah. Any questions whatsoever? Because if not, I will wish you all a very pleasant evening. And we'll probably be back here next time. This was really fun. I enjoyed myself. So we'll probably be back here next week doing the same, well, not the same thing. We'll be doing something different. But yeah. Hype for more? Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited. So, thank you all very much for tuning in, and yeah, I will. Hold on. I will catch you next week. We'll see what day. It'll be on Twitter for sure. It'll be on Twitter at the very least. And yeah, watch loving. Wow, but you didn't love listening to me speak. That was a sentence that could not come out. Loved watching you cook. Thank you so much. And I will see you all next week. If I can click the right thing again. Jesus, this is